All right, hey, Rob G, we have movement at Michigan. That's what I'm going to say.
That's too much.
That is a good word choice.
Too much of it.
And I'm really upset just because we did a lot of work. We had some good stuff on Jalen Hurts, had some good stuff on Mike Vrabel. We're not getting to any of it today because there's breaking news in the world of college football. The University of Michigan has fired head football coach Sherrone Moore with cause. That's the key word here. Because they found, quote, credible evidence that he was engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. Part of their statement reads, quote, this conduct constitutes a clear violation of university policy, and UM maintains zero tolerance for such behavior. Sherrone Moore out, looking for a new head coach there in Ann Arbor.
It would be one thing if we looked at this and looked at it as an isolated incident.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not. It is unbelievable how many coaches, have bit the dust over this.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long list. I don't even think you could post a list on the internet. There's not enough space. Like, that's how often this happens. Even in the state of Michigan.
I knew where you were going, yeah.
Mel Tucker, the Michigan State coach, who wound up losing, right? He was fired in September 2023 following a sexual harassment investigation and lost, what was it, $75, $80 million that he still had left on his contract with cause and all that.
Mm-hmm.
There's all kinds of other people that had situations involving Miss Bobby Petrino,
Urban Meyer,
Rick Pitino, Urban Meyer. Yeah. I mean, we could go on and on and on and on. And I'm going to say this. This is not to exonerate the people doing the bad stuff, because Moore deserve. If this is all true, this is on him. Like you already know when you sign the contract at Michigan, and they tell you people don't understand this. They go, that's nobody's business. They're mature adults, and they have the right to do whatever they want to do in their own personal life. No. Not when you affect other people's lives. We talk about it all the time, Kelvin. You can't be the boss or in charge of somebody and mess around with subordinates, because you hold their life in your hands. You're giving them promotions and raises that maybe other people have earned because you're in the sack together. Like that's the reason. If we're on par and we're working on the line at Ford or GM, we can have a romance and fall in love. You don't control my destiny or my livelihood, right?
Yep.
People fall in love at work all the time.
All the time.
On this level. But not when somebody's here and they're the boss and they're running things. We know this.
It's one of the first videos you got to watch when you start a new job.
All the time. It's over and over and over. But this is my point, and I want to hear from you.
Yeah.
I'm blaming the universities and these college towns because they have made this job of being, especially college football and these towns, like godlike. These guys get to do whatever they want. The police fall in line when kids used to get busted or whatever.
Oh, that was big back in the day.
They would bring the kids to the coach. We saw at Penn State, right? Joe Paterno, what went on there?
Mm-hmm.
Despicable. Because guys are bigger than and not held accountable. They're the football coach. Oh, something bad happened. Oh, go to take it to coach, whatever. No, call the police. That's what should have happened at Penn State. Joe Paterno's name and everything would still be up there if he did the right thing. He didn't do that. In fact, he never called the police. And in this case, and this is all alleged, we're not indicting anybody. I mean, saying that they're guilty. And the guy lost his job. Michigan has to feel pretty good with the evidence that it has against Moore. But my point is, this is because we allow these coaches carte blanche, and we allow them to do what they want, run the university. They're bigger than the college presidents. They make more money than anybody. They run the place. And with absolute power comes problems. And when people, and that's why I think this keeps happening.
Well, you know what? I don't think you finished it off, though. I think this is where we differ a little bit. With absolute power comes absolute responsibility. And I think that's where I would say. So I hear you on the schools, and these guys become bigger, godlike figures. We talk about that all the time. That's why sometimes coaching in college can be more beneficial than NFL because
you get away with it.
You get away. You become the guy, a deity in that city, in that town, in that state. Whereas NFL is like, you better win or else. You're not bigger than that. You might not even be bigger than your quarterback in the NFL. But I still have to put a lot of this at the feet of the persons involved. In this case, Moore, if this what is alleged is true, some of the other coaches we named, because you are in these positions of power, of responsibility, and of leadership, and you have to also and then practice what you preach with these young men, right? We talk about it all the time. One of the no distractions, accountability, and integrity. That's what you're preaching to these young men.
Yeah, but that was Bill Belichick, right? Until he got the
little girlfriend.
This is what
okay. And life changed.
Okay.
But this is what I'm saying. You have to preach this because, to be honest with you, this thing that has happened been happening since biblical times. Like, bad decisions when it comes to, in this case, obviously the men and women.
But back then, you weren't signing a multi-million-dollar contract that
you don't know what King David and them was signing. You don't know what contracts
that told you don't mess around with the staff.
You don't know what Solomon was signing back then, But no, I say this to say, but that's where I'm going with this. The school is saying, you're not just a coach. You're a leader of men. You're a leader in this community. You're a pillar in this community. We're paying you handsomely in some cases, like a coach in Michigan. Act right. So I can't put the onus on the school. Act right. I'm giving you one of the world-class jobs. There's only a handful of these types of jobs in the entire world. You have one. You have power. You're leading people, not only your team. You're leading the community. We're putting billboards up. We're putting commercials up. We're entrusting you around other young people. We're entrusting you with parents, children. Act right. And so to me, it falls on them. Now, do they get their minds get convoluted and they become the guy and they get cloudy in judgment because I am the one? Maybe that's the case.
Well,
but I can't.
That's what I'm saying.
Clearly,
There's a reason that it didn't happen to one person and never happened again.
I guess what I'm saying is take away the job. This happens all the time in the history of mankind is what I'm saying.
I agree with you. This is where I disagree with you. I agree.
Yeah.
But you're not talking about, as you just said, the responsibility that goes with it. It's all laid out for you.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't like Joey at the you're working at the supermarket and you know what I mean, and you're working an hourly wage and there's a cute girl in the checkout counter, whatever. This is all laid out. This has happened to so many people before, and it keeps happening. And I do believe that you feel like you're invincible when you get those jobs because of what they allow you to do and get away with. The player did something, whatever, they bring it to you. They don't call the police. They don't report it. Like, this is – so you feel like you can get away with anything because our star linebacker just got away with something. You believe that.
Here's where I also will say historically, you use Joe Paterno. I'll give you that. We know stuff that came out.
How about that Joe Paterno?
We came out with the story came out about Bo Schembechler and what they turned
their heads on.
Yeah. So the point is, I agree with that more historically. It's 2025, and this is the gotcha media. This is I got my own ability to expose things and put out things and text and messages and all that. And so to me, it shouldn't be doing it in the first place. You got to be aware, but let alone in 2025, it's even more apparent that you do right because it's just the accessibility to be exposed. This ain't the lionized era where we're going to lionize you and cover the eye. You're coming in hungover. We're just going to say you have the stomach flu. This ain't that era no more. This is this is the Pablo Torre era where they putting everything out there and continuing to take shots at you and find you. So I'm more shocked this happening now. All right, Rob, so they're watching us right now, which means another thing they can do is what?
They can subscribe. All you got to do is hit that button, subscribe to The Odd Couple for some of the best sports talk content in the nation.
Facts, and while you're at it, they can like, they can comment, they can share. Do all that for us. We appreciate it. Just do all that right up in here.